assassin, he's just immediately going to get a Ruthless Predator and
stunned up, and then Color Me can slice and dice, can chase you as you try and jump away as well. You're in the end, you tend to end up burning your jumps to try and get away from the fight, and then you just get taken out by that Renekton, who is a massive crocodile in the top lane. Tundra locking in that Renekton. We're just going to quickly run through the picks and bans very speedily for you guys here. Buy on Infused Dan. Now, I want to apologize, guys, just if we cast throughout the game. We've got Infused Dan and we've got FM Dan, and they're both junglers. So I think we'll probably try and call them by the champion name most of the time. But if I say Dan and you get confused, I apologize. I'm not doing it deliberately. It'll just be one of those things that happens.
Yeah, so right now we've got Rifty going to be on a champion that's usually banned out against him, which is that Akali. He's going for basically his last hurrah of this group stage. He wants to really pull out big on a champion he hopes he can go toe-to-toe with Tundra on. Interesting, he'll probably look to start Cloth 5. It's likely going to be the choice for him. He'll then go towards a Zhonya's very early on. Or he could go, you know, a longsword, look to get some more sustain through that method. But there's lots of ways he can look to try and go against Tundra and look to survive the early lane, because Tundra will look to dominate with that Renekton. It's something we've seen pulled out on the OGN recently also, and did very well with. It was nice to see Renekton back on the scene, so we're going to see how Tundra manages to handle this crocodile in the top lane. Yeah,
it will be a very interesting lane. Now, Chriso on Xerath versus Alessandro in the mid lane. Jubei actually picking up the Ignite, so he wants to be aggressive in that mid lane, trying to get as much pressure down as possible. But the worry for him always is going to be the range of that Arcana Pulse. It's so damaging. You've got the extra extended range on it as well. And then we've seen quite a few times Xerath will flash him with the Arcana Pulse proccing to try and pick you out under your second tower.
Yeah, I mean, really looking forward to it. And also, you'll see, there's a lot of, at level 6, Tundra's got so many ways also to outplay Rifty. Obviously, if Rifty looks to go for the damage, Tundra can just pop that ultimate, and it's so many ways you can escape Akali locking you down. In the jungle, really, Dan will be looking to counter gank for the majority of the time. That's what Vi often tend to do. Max that Vault Breaker.
And Dan's so good at timing.
Yeah, he's really good at timing them. Max that Vault Breaker, look to get towards a full Vault Breaker counter gank, and usually you can turn the majority of it around as long as your laners haven't taken too much damage. Suddenly, though, we've got Giobear on his wonderful Lissandra. He is such a good Lissandra player. Look out for the Sultan Battery into Frozen Tomb combos that will surely be coming down on a fairly immobile laner.
And the Crescendo as well.
Yeah, the Crescendo from when Wawa actually playing Sona has had it banned out against him previously.
Very strong Sona player.
Very strong on that Sona.
It's just amazing play from him, and he's very good at getting the crescendos as we get into the mid-game team fights as well, which is where Infused works so well as a team. They love that mid-game power spike. They love getting that first rotation of items, then going, we're going all in, we're going to go mid lane, we're going to get the tower, we're going to go for Dragon, and just put as much pressure down as possible. We are just into the 3-minute delay, guys, so we're just waiting to get into this game, but it's an exciting matchup here. Infused on the blue side, FM eSports on the red side, and it's the deciding game of the tournament thus far. Group A will be decided as to who wins this. Will we go into a 3-way tie, or will we see Infused and you what, mate, taking the victory and going through to the next stage?
Infused will really want this. They won't want to play anymore to confirm their place in the live finals, and Infused will want to potentially go in with that first seed. It does give them what you may say, based on seedings, an easier route to the final. They'll have to go up against Perilous Rift, I feel, from what I've heard, they're fairly confident that they can do well against them. So obviously Infused will be coming at this with the best possible angle. They'll be playing another team comp that is slightly odd. They've got the Akali, and they don't see that a lot in competitive play, but Infused, notorious for doing this type of work.
We have just lost the... there we are, we're back. It seemed like we lost the stream for a second, but it was just our monitor going down for some reason. So we are still on stream, guys, sorry about that. We are just waiting to get into the game. Shall we have a quick look at how the standings are thus far? We had Group B yesterday, some amazing games there. Let's see if we can get this up on our overlay and then just have a quick talk through this. Scoundrel, we had the 6 months of qualifiers, EGL qualifier, ESL qualifier, the 2 Riot qualifiers, the MCM qualifier, the Insomnia 52 qualifier as well. And this is what we stand at now. And the new qualifier.
Yeah, the new qualifier was in there also. And obviously you also have the GIF-GAF qualifier, which took place at I-53. And now we have Group A. We already know who's gone through from Group B. That was Perilous Rift and Choke Gaming. And now Group A all stands on this final game. Either we will know after this game, or we'll be waiting a little bit longer. Team Infused are in this game to win it. And if they don't win, they'll be going through to a tiebreaker with the rest of the guys. If they do win, they've won, they've got first seed, and then you what, mate, will go through as the second seed.
That they will. 15 seconds left before we get into the loading screen and onto the Rift Scoundrel. I am excited, I'm hyped, I'm ready for this action. It's been 2 days of immensely superb League of Legends action, and now we have the 2 powerhouses of the UK scene facing up against each other. Probably 2 of the favourites to win this tournament as we started off. But we've had some other teams rise up in favour recently. Choke Gaming, Rift, You What Mate today as well. They've risen up in favour as well. But up until we had most of the qualifiers, FM and Infused would have been the teams you said they're probably going to be right there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, really, the way Infused have played, they won the GIFGAF qualifier with convincing style.
Yeah.
You would have said that they were definitely in the running, but honestly, they're in a position which I don't think they wish they were. That literally made no sense. They're in a position where I don't think they wanted to be. They've basically put themselves where it really rests on the fate of this game. Everything stands on this game, and even if they win this game, they then have to put themselves through more trials. Yeah. Trials of fire, trials of Infused, trials of You What Mate, and them swearing on their mum's life, because all of it rests on their performance in this game. And if Infused want to win it and get the first seed automatically, they've got a big wall to climb here, FM.
It is a big wall, an obstacle course almost. They're training for the army. It's a military precision required for them to win this game. And can they pull it off? Can they get those dragons? Can they get the barons? Well, let's see as we are onto the Rift, guys. Here we are, teams have started up.
Yeah, we're just waiting. There isn't going to be too much crazy grouping up at this level 1. Everyone looks like they're going towards their defensive position. We haven't actually seen a lane swap at all this entire set of group stages, so that is something that is slightly odd. And actually, since the release of 420, I've seen less and less lane swaps take place.
You give up dragon control.
Exactly, and dragon control seems to have become far more important than it was pre-420. So, you know, they just have to be careful about when you approach these kind of things. And if you go for the lane swap, you need to make sure that you're getting something out of it. Yeah. Otherwise, you just give up way too much on the map.
And look at how defensive both these teams have been on the start. You could draw across the river, you could draw a straight line, and that is exactly where these teams are. They're facing off against each other. Rafa and Wawa will start off at the Krugs and manage to get those for themselves, trying to get that early level 2, but across the board, both the teams just very passive. We saw this again yesterday in the second to last game. Both teams were very cagey. It was Choke versus Rift. It was a very cagey game, and I expect this game to start off pretty cagey as well, but Dan is getting jumped on here. The ice shard comes out. He actually misclicks ever so slightly. They're not going to go all in on him, and he has got enough time to go back to base and then get back in time for his jungle. Yeah,
they just wanted to force him out of that brush. They knew he was there. I don't think any of them expected to pick up a kill at this start in the game. The Default Breaker was not taken by Dan. He didn't choose to charge that up, so they didn't catch on to FM Dan as easily, but they do put a bit of pressure down onto him. He's now been forced to move up towards those Krugs in the top lane. Going to start them up with Tundra. That does leave the Gromp available for Billy and Slight to take away, but in the meantime, you'll be seeing something similar for Wawa and Rafa. They will both be going for the Krugs themselves. We'll be interested to see who decides to take the experience. Are we going to have a shared experience gain here, or will we just be seeing the AD carry taking that early level 2?
Quite possibly. I think we'll have Wawa and Rafa look like they're sharing the experience here. It makes sense. You want to get level 2 on your Sona as much as possible as well, so she can get that Hymn of Valor out, and then we see Slight and Billy Fufu seem to have shared the XP across them as well, so they'll be getting that early level 2 as well. Get the Aqua Prism, get that extra damage down, get the Ebb and Flow as well. Both of these laners have a good amount of sustain, so it's going to be difficult for one of them to get the advantage unless they manage to get a huge amount of burst off in one go.
Yeah, and Rafa and Wawa, they chose to share the experience, but unfortunately have just hit level 2, a slight bit after Slight and Billy Fufu, but unfortunately there's nothing that can be capitalized on, and it's again Wawa trying to be aggressive with that Sona. We have seen it before, but nothing too crazy going to happen yet.
Nothing too crazy at all. CS is going to be equal across the board, as long as Slight manages to pick up all 4 of these. And in the top lane, we talked about Rifty starting with cloth armor. That's exactly what he's gone for. Tundra forcing him into his tower already. 5 CS ahead after just that 2 minion waves. So Tundra's going to keep trying to harass down as much as possible, but took quite a bit of damage in the first phase.
Yeah, and also Rifty not taking that Twilight Shroud early, wants to make sure he's getting as many aggressive phases as he can, but obviously going up against a Renekton, one of Akali's biggest counters really, as he can't easily step up and look to harass, because obviously you want to proc that Mark of the Assassin, but as soon as you get into range, all Tundra will be doing is using that stun and then immediately getting damage off with his Cole and Meek as well. So difficult for Akali in this lane, but Rifty playing it fairly well as it stands, and he is a very good Akali player, so you would expect him to know this matchup fairly well as well. And in the bot lane, Wawa and Rafa definitely having the better of the time, as FM Dan making his way down. He will be caught out by a ward though, however.
It looks like he's going to rotate around and try and catch Vi off guard at her Raptors, and this makes a lot of sense. Chriso is there as well. He has the shocking of Geobear from behind. Going to get that fire, the arcane down, and Dan has to flash away. There is Geobear jumping into the middle of them. He's been shocking orbs up. He has got flash available, but he won't be able to get out. And FM eSports pick up their first kill of the game.
Yeah, that was odd decision-making from Geobear, I'll put it at that. I think he maybe wanted Dan to try and turn around, get a fully charged Vault Breaker, but unfortunately Dan was far too far out of the fight there. Geobear was also a level down, I believe, on Chriso. He was level 3 when he opted to engage. Unfortunately, hadn't hit level 1, didn't have much mana on the board either. And you're going up against a Xin Zhao that does a lot of early game damage with the use of that 3 talent strike. So,
Tundra actually having to go back before Rifty in this lane. That shows
shows
how well Rifty's done.
Just the prowess of Rifty on Akali is just such a big champion for him. And Tundra ideally should have had more pressure in this lane, but Rifty, gotta give it to him. The guy knows his champion.
Yeah, he definitely does. And Tundra, not having played Renekton recently as far as we know. Maybe he's played it in Ranked or in solo queue or something like that, but we haven't seen it brought out at a big event recently. It looks like we're just going to see a little bit of pressure coming out from the FM bot lane, getting that deep ward into the Tribush just to give themselves a little bit more safety. And Dan, of course, having burnt that flash early means he has to just try and farm himself up a little bit more in the jungle. He's going to get the Krugs. Nice acquisition onto too, but the Mystic Shot doesn't actually connect as it hits a minion. Rapper's going to get taken down a little bit, and the Tidecrawler's blessing from Billy Fufu onto Slight just puts a little bit more harassment down than you can get out from a Sona Corki lane.
Yeah, Pot having to be popped by Rafa at this point, and Slight being very safe. Billy Fufu tanking the majority of the damage. They're really going to have to just watch out for this one, because this is very two heavy sustained lanes, but Billy Fufu allowing himself to be a little bit more aggressive than Wawa at this point. Wawa having to take a step back after that little double bubble engagement. Rifty heading back towards the top lane, has a bit of a 10 CS deficit, but there is a big wave pushing in his favor, so we'll be able to farm that up fairly nicely, while Tundra just making sure that he misses as many as possible. But that last minion, Rifty's going to be able to pick it off.
Rifty will be able to pick it off. Dan actually coming in for a very interesting gank path here, because they saw Slight and Billy Fufu rotate up towards the Tribush. They know they placed a ward there, so he came across the Dragon Pit and is now snuck into this river bush in the bot lane. They'll wait for FM eSports to push out this lane, and then Dan will come in for the gank.
Yeah, going to be difficult to actually make something happen here for Infused Dan. He also has FM Dan moving around the backside. As soon as he gets picked up by the ward, expect Infused Dan to turn around. He will. This is going to be a counter gank situation.
Definitely, as Rapper is going to try and Valkyrie across the wall. He's going to dodge out that Aquaprism. Billy Fufu quite low, has to flash away. The heal out by Slight. Here comes Dan onto Wawa on the sidelines. Mystic Shot not connecting onto Rapper. Dan's going to go quite low. He's exhausted, as is Rapper. Rapper's going to go down to Billy Fufu, but we did see Corki picking up the Ezreal in the fight as well. Dan's going to try and get onto Dan. He picks up the kill. And Dan manages to pick up a kill.
Wawa having to dodge one more. I don't think the last right of the arcane will do it. He actually thinks it gets
because Geobear's now fighting against Chriso. Chriso has to flash the wall as well. And a good fight there for Infused. Picking up 2. They did lose 2 in exchange. Yeah,
they did lose 2. I think they already lost a kill earlier on, as obviously Dan got Geobear got picked off. But it was a 2-for-1 exchange. That's pretty good for Infused. They get a bit more pressure back on the board, and especially good that the kill went over to Rafa on the Corki. Gives him a little bit of an advantage, and he has been able to go for this Sheen. Now, interesting itemization choice coming out from Slight. He's opted to go for the pickaxe to keep up in damage before finishing that tier off. He does have the mana regen item, the Fairy Charm, available should he choose to go for that tier, which he obviously will do. Just depends on timing now. Depends on how long he's going to spend in lane before he chooses to back and get that. Interesting choice there. Yeah,
very interesting choice. Tundra actually doing a good job in the top lane, putting some harassment down back onto Rifty. He's 15 CS ahead. They are both level 7 now. Well, Rifty's still level 6. We'll be popping level 7 in just a second. But as they get more and more pressure down in this lane, you have to expect Rifty to start taking the advantages. Tundra on Renekton, it's a very early game pick. You need to get some kills early. And now that Seeker's arm guard's been finished on Rifty as well, he's not going to be able to put much pressure down as he'd like.
Double Doran's, though, a very early game oriented build for Tundra. And obviously Rifty still won't be looking to go aggressive at this point. Still lacking ever so slightly behind in CS, but making sure that Tundra cannot capitalize on the advantage that he has just through the way their mechanics and their kits work. And actually, I think FM Dan looking to put a bit of pressure up there, but it'll be very difficult. The pink ward is there for the Twilight Shroud. As this is going to push up, there is a potential for a counter gank to happen from Infused Dan. He is level 6, got that singular level up on Infused Dan, so if they want to use those ultimates, they will be available, as FM Dan is looking to take that Rifty Crawler away.
Yeah, got to pick up the Rift Scuttler and just push that down, get yourself a little bit more vision control across the river. But at the moment, it looks like Infused are trying to set up this gank in the top lane, as you said. Tundra being relatively safe. He's actually going to go in onto Rifty, but he needs to be careful because the Assault battery is available. Dominus is popped. Can Tundra turn this one around? He will try, but he will go down to Dan. And Infused Dan is now 2-0 on that Vi.
Didn't pop his flash. Very good and defensive idea from Tundra. You know, immediately Rifty would have been able to use a Shadow Dance and immediately get the kill as well. But the kill going over to Dan means that Rifty isn't going to have a massive advantage now, just based on the fact that the gold you get from assists is not significant enough to give you a massive snowballing lead. So still going to remain moderately even. It's just the catch-up in CS that Rifty is going to be given here. Another wave, and he'll be well back on level grounds, and he'll have a bit of gold in his pocket to go back with as well. Does have that teleport if he needs it also.
Tidal Wave used very early here in the bot lane. Wawa might get pressed and slashed back. He will. The True Shot Barrage not going to connect Crescendo, only on Billy Fufu though. And Slight will pick up the kill. They'll turn on to Rafa. They need to be careful though, because GeoBear's trying to join the fray. Does have that glacial path and will come across the wall. Billy Fufu not in a good position. He's going to get frozen to in a second. The teleport in, nice.
There we go.
Slight goes down as well. GeoBear picks up one. Rifty comes in to help out as well. Actually, the kill going across towards Rafa there, and they'll go towards the Dragon now. Infused 5 and 3 up.
Yeah, really fantastic. And now they get the Dragon too. If that had been in favour of FM with the kill of Wawa, they could have potentially turned to the Dragon. But the fact that Rifty teleported down, but then managed to secure this first Dragon of the game, that's big for Infused right now. Does mean Tundra has a lot of time in this top lane to push this turret down, but he's going to farm the wave up instead of this wave. Next wave coming along will provide him a little bit of a buffer, and he's going to do a little proxy farming, let the wave do the majority of the damage at this point.
It's a very good little fight there for Infused. 2-0 on that Vi and 2-1 on the Corki as well. He's picked up his Phage as well, almost got his Trinity Force. That's going to be very early, and a Mana Moon picked up onto Slight. He needs to get that stacking as quickly as possible to be any effect in these team fights.
Tundra not managing to finish off that tower either, and Rifty is now back in lane, so no immediate advantage garnered by the FM side. Otherwise, fairly even. Just the very big change here is the Warrior enchantment already finished.
Very big changes. The Hex Tech finished on Rifty. Tundra popped the Dominus to try and survive. Hex Drinker popped as well. Look at the damage coming out from Akali in that top lane.
Yeah, Rifty knows what he's doing with that champion. It's a very hard champion to play properly, but when you do play properly, it can be very, very dominant. Obviously quite easy to counter when you upgrade sweepers and get pinks on the board, but if you get far enough ahead, shouldn't matter too much. The sustain you get from your passive should allow you to at least pop someone before you're focused down. And Rifty having a nice time of it in this top lane.
He definitely is. After Tundra wasn't able to put that early pressure down, we see he's gone for another No Magic Mantle, so he's building towards Mercury Treads, which is what we expect, but at the moment, not getting that early pressure off that you'd like, and really getting taken down by an Akali who's only got a Hex Tech Revolver, not even got up to that Gunblade yet. He's really going to be struggling.
Yeah, that's Slight and Billy Fufu. They're having a pretty decent time in this bot lane. Has that Mana Moon finished already now, so we'll be doing a scaling amount of damage the more Mystic Shots that he uses. However, Rafa is very, very close. There is a Tidal Wave coming in though.
Tidal Wave in the bot lane, but it's going to miss. Rafa just Valkyries away. Did see Dan trying to get in for the gank. Meanwhile, Infused Dan has been waiting up in the top lane for a long period of time, standing in this bush trying to bait out Tundra, but I think Tundra will just sniff this one out with his crocodile senses and maybe decide not to go too aggressive.
I think he knows. He definitely must know at this point. He's
so passive.
He's being so passive. I think he has some idea. Yeah,
there's the ward.
Yeah. It was unfortunate. Dan going to have to head back here. Maybe look to use his skills elsewhere. GeoBear, very quiet so far in this stage of the game. He's had his
mid lane just been very quiet in and of itself. Slight taking quite a bit of damage in the bot lane, but yeah, apart from a couple of roams from GeoBear and Chriso roaming down for that right of the Arcane as well, nothing's really happened. We do see Dan trying to get in the gank in the bot lane, but he's done this many a time. He gets spotted out by the ward and we'll just have to back away.
Yeah, he's just going to walk away slowly. Going towards GeoBear. Geo needs to be careful here. Dan's got those boots and ability though, so he'll be moving across the map fairly quickly. Dragon going to be up in roughly 3 or so minutes. That'll be something that Infused will look to capitalize on. As Tundra very low. Are they going to go for the dive?
He's got Dominus. It's dangerous.
It would be very risky. It would be very risky to go for this. He's going to wait until the minion wave pushes up.
Yeah, because of course they know that he's placed his warding totem in that top bush as well, so he could come around if he wanted to. We do see Dan and Dan are going to meet up in the jungle for a second. It looks like Infused have a little bit of a better position on this fight. They will know that that red buff has just spawned. Infused down the Vi coming around the corner here. Going to spot out Dan. Dan does not know he's there. Here he comes. He's going to jump onto that Zinzao crescent swipe. Not enough. The Solden battery will be though.
Dear.
And Infused pick up another kill, 6 and 3. Chris are actually stealing away the red buff though. He's going to turn onto Vi, who will Vault Breaker himself away. And with Rifty and GeoBear coming around the corners, want to make sure he doesn't get taken out. Nicely done by Chriso though to pick up that red buff.
Yeah, and Infused looking very strong from the get-go again. Very nice idea from Dan to make sure he had
Rifty
the red
tower diving. Ruthless Predator's not quite available for Tundra, but look at how much damage Rifty took. The pink ward does go down, and because he positioned himself nicely, Tundra wasn't able to get on top of it.
Had Chriso been in a more ideal position, right
Yeah.
of the arcane could have been used for the execution there, but obviously that was not the case. Rifty just backing off, and he did go for a tower dive. Like you said, it was a very ambitious thing to do onto a Renekton. He does have that dominance available, but in the meantime, he'll just be looking to get as much health back from this drop before he heads back to lane. Gets 2 Mark of the Assassin's proc, which actually does a fair amount of HP regeneration. He's going to stick around for this wave too, so not too bad here for Rifty. Immediately going to start to regain that life.
This is really good management. They're going to go and steal away this red buff as well. So Dan doesn't even lose out on that jungle. Did lose out the kill, of course, but manages to pick up the enemy red buff. They could even start a 3-man gank in the bot lane if they wanted to. Decide against it, and actually it looks like Dan might come down here by himself. Zinzao doesn't have the Crescent Slash available, will be up relatively soon. Here comes the tidal wave onto Wawa. Wawa has to be the target. True shot barrage. Rapper actually jumping with Dan there. Wawa's going to go down. The counter teleport is very close. Slight jumps in, but 50's going to jump on top of him. Tundra there, not able to stun at Rifty. Dan jumps back onto Rapper to get the kill. Rifty jumps onto Dan to try and get away and will escape. They need to be careful because the other Dan is coming around the corner. Vi is there. Dan picks up the kill, does get taken out by the tower. Here comes the other Dan. He needs to be careful because Chriso's around the corner. Aquaprism not going to connect. GeoBear joining the fray in just a second, but he'll back away as soon as he sees Chriso there with that shocking orb. And it's a good fight for FM. They pick up 3, they only lose 2. They do lose down and Slight though.
Yeah, we've got 40 seconds till Dragon, so won't have too much of an impact on the next Dragon that will be coming up fairly soon. There is no vision either for FM, so they won't have a complete idea as to when this is going to come up. I'm sure they'll have a little bit of an inkling though. There was that team fight previously. Yeah. They did know that that was probably on the board for Infused, but all in all, pretty decent team fight. They are going to regain a lot of pressure, but again, 40 seconds till Dragon. Like I said, they've got 20 seconds now.
Oh, GeoBear's going to go in on Chriso because Dan's around the corner, Frozen Tomb, and that is a very frosty Xerath. Gets taken down quickly by Team Infused.
And this is going to be really big now for the Dragon fight because Assault and Battery was not needed right there. They don't have a big chunk of damage, which is the form of that Xerath. Rifty, however, did head towards that top lane, is now having to make his way down towards the Dragon, but I don't know. There is going to be a confession here from FM.
Let's spot it out with the true shot for us. Billy Fufu there. They're not going to take the Dragon away, but they might fight it because Dan's in the middle of them. They get one. GeoBear's gone down. Tundra's here with the dominance as well. Going to pop onto the other Dan. Dan gets taken out before he can take out Dan, and what was the next target? He's going to go down very quickly. Mystic shot. Rifty might actually decide to fight this one. He goes in. Rapper's still there as well. Rifty jumps onto Slight. That's a great little fight here there by him, but he's going to go very low. The Phosphorus Bomb gets Rapper a double kill, but Billy Fufu manages to get out alive. Rapper versus Tundra. I think Rapper wins this one, especially if he manages to get some hits onto Billy Fufu. Tundra just going to have to jump away. Got the Hex Drinker and uses that Slice and Dice.
Again, pretty good contest.
If they can keep him around, right, the Arcane will be available.
Yeah, he has to be careful. He does have that Valkyrie
up.
He
does have Valkyrie.
So he can easily escape. Actually, Rapper has no idea this is coming his way. It'll be a shocking orb. Here we go.
Valkyrie away automatically. He's going to try and hit the Arcane Pulse. If it connects, he'll go for the right of the Arcane, but decides against it. 11-5 now. Such a close game between these two UK powerhouses.
If Rifty had been there a little bit earlier, that would have been an Infused fight left, right, and center. But Infused were a little bit hesitant to go for something in that fight. They kind of didn't realize they wanted the Dragon, they wanted the fight, and then obviously Dan split off with the Assault and Battery. And a lot of the damage will be coming out from this Hextech Gunblade Akali right now. So they'd have lost a lot of their majority of the assassination potential, especially with GeoBear in Frozen Tomb being down after having just used it immediately in that mid lane team fight. So that's actually pretty decent for FF, having fought that without their Xerath. Did pretty well.
Yeah, they definitely did. We need some magic resist on FM at the moment. There's 3 AP carries basically on the side of Infused. Well, Corki you can basically count as an AP carry. He does so much magic damage, has got sorcery shoes as well. Lissandra in the mid lane and Akali in the top lane. It's all magic damage. Get an early Aegis, get that early Makars, which we see coming out on Nami as well. Spirit of Visage on Renekton is a great pickup. If they can get some magic resist, I see FM starting to win this as we get later into the game. Interesting
that Dan not opting to go for the early magic resist in the form of the the lock-in. Who is going to pick up the lock-in? Is it going to be Billy? Is it going to be Dan? It could
even be Tundra.
Could even be Tundra, but he has got a long way to go before he gets it. This could be a significant mid-game portion.
The thing is now, with Spirit Massage, he can fight Rifty, which is exactly what he's doing, but Rifty is playing the bait master because Assault and Battery from long range from Dan. Right, the Arcane will come in. Can they take Rifty out? No, they can't. Right on the edge. Not able to connect with that final Arcano Pulse, and GeoBear around the corner. They might start a 3-man onto FM Chriso here. Needs to be careful. He's under that tower. It's got quite a bit of HP. They won't be able to push it too quickly, especially considering they're all AP, apart from Vi, of course. But Chriso will back away. Doesn't want Lissandra and Vi getting anywhere near her.
Going to put a lot of pressure onto this turret. They're going to get a return top lane turret from the previous one taken by Tundra, so pretty decent for Infused, and there's nothing that FM can do on the map to retaliate with. They have lost that dragon already, but it does look like Dam going to head to exactly the opposite side of the map, maybe even look to put some damage down onto this red buff, which will be spawning moderately soon, but they know he's there. He's going to have to escape. Dan's got to be very careful.
Yeah, he has. He doesn't realize that Wawa's there, so crescendo into all the damage. Rafa picks up the kill, 13 to 10 now. 1,000 gold the difference, and Infused eking out their advantages where they can, just rotating ever so slightly better than FM.
Yeah, Dan again getting caught in no man's land in the middle of that jungle right there. I'm not quite sure what his plan was. I thought potentially going for some deep wards, but then he kind of hung around, potentially waiting to catch by himself, which was unfortunately not the best of decisions. He doesn't have any defensive items right now either. He has Devourer, boost mobility, and potentially what is looking like a Ghost Blade. Actually, Rafa having to be very careful at this point. Crescendo has been used. They need to play defensively. Ideally, wait for Dan, which is what's going to happen right now.
Yep, Dan is hiding in that bot lane bush, and he's been all over the map thus far. We do have a quick pause going out, so hopefully we'll get that rectified for you guys. Trinity Force already picked up on that Corki. He's 6 and 2. 3 and 4 on Ezreal. He's got his Mana Moon. He's almost got his Trinity Force sitting on a Phage and a Sheen, but not quite there yet. And I think that can be said about a lot of the FM eSports team. They're playing really well. They're close to it, but they're not quite there yet.
Yeah, they're just off the end of the Infused game right now. Infused have really upped their game from the last time that I have seen them play. It's been really fantastic to see them. But FM, they need to retaliate. They need to regain their composure. Otherwise, they're out of the Four Nations, which would be a major upset from what everyone was expecting.
Yeah, definitely will be. And
we're back into game.
It's been a very close game. We're back into game, but then it's an immediate pause again going out for Wawa. So hopefully nothing major going on there. I assume maybe one of their players just stepped away from his keyboard while we were waiting for the game to get back into it. Just a bit of FPS lag, so we'll be back in as soon as possible. But it's been such a close game now. What I want to draw your attention to is Tundra in the top lane was dueling versus Rifty until Dan came in. If they have a prolonged fight when Dan isn't there, I think Tundra wins it at the moment because of the Spirit Visage, because of that extra lifesteal and healing coming off the Cold and Meek. I think he still wins it.
Yeah, I would
Hextech and Giant's Belt though.
I would say that before he had the Giant's Belt.
Yeah.
He was dueling quite well when he just had Hextech. Tundra has a lot of magic resist on the board. The Hex Drink makes everything equally as wonderful when you're trying to duel an AP mage assassin like that. But the Giant's Belt gives a big buffer period for Rifty. He will be able to tank up that Dominus a little bit further. He'll be able to stand around, do a lot more damage, take a couple more seconds of Cold and Meek as well. So I would say beforehand, yes, Tundra had the definite advantage, but Rifty has been playing out of his mind on this Akali. He's definitely been affecting the map a lot right now. So just going to wait. I think there has been a reconnection. We're just waiting for it to level up. But right now, there isn't much of a gold disadvantage. It's just the 2 dragons and about 1k.
Yeah.
FM definitely have the potential to get straight back into this game.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, especially with people like Xerath on your team, especially with people like Ezreal on their team. But Dan in the bot lane is going to jump onto Billy Fufu. Has the assault battery. There we are, straight through the tidal wave. And that is a very dead Nami. Fish and chips for Team Idea. Rapper almost gets taken out, but manages to survive with Wawa's assistance. And Infused Dan is just out-rotating FM Dan at the moment. The jungle presence from him has been absolutely superb, and we see a 5-man stack in the bot lane.
I've been impressed with his jungle presence in every game that he's played. He's managed to play several roles of jungle across this Four Nations tournament. He's played a very deep counter jungler against Cambridge. He played a very gang.
Dan's going to get jumped on by Rifty, but he is just knocked away. Rifty has so much. He's going to jump back in. He knows the shocking orb isn't down. There's the 3rd proc, but the heal actually from Kissa almost keeps him alive. And Rifty will just walk away.
Yeah, that was 3 Shadow Dances there. The very maximum amount of damage that Rifty needed, and did manage to pick up Dan right at the end. A small heal almost kept him alive at the end, but unfortunately Dan did not have that survivability that he needs, but he's gone a very aggressive build here. Maybe expecting Tundra to take that frontline tank position, but when Tundra is in that top lane, you don't have a tank for the rest of the map, and especially when you're trying to control these dragon fights, if your main ability to take these dragons is getting bursts that quickly, it's going to be so difficult for FM to look to contest them.
I'm surprised by FM Dan's build. He's gone very, very aggressive with the Yumu's Ghostblade, the Devourer, and the Ranger's Trailblazer. But if he'd gone for perhaps a Juggernaut enchantment on that Ranger's Trailblazer, perhaps gone a Randuin second item, or actually even the Aegis, which we were talking about earlier, just would have given him a little bit more tank ability, and we would have seen him being a bit more effective in these team
The
fights.
Aegis would have been such a value pickup for the FM team. It gives you so much in the form of defense against Rifty, GeoBear, and Rafa, even Wawa to a certain extent. So there's a lot there that could have been picked up, and then it looks like a new pickup, Elixir of Iron, being picked up here for Tundra. He wants to be that very, very big frontline tank. He wants to also, I believe they give a movement speed increase to people chasing you, so he'll be looking to engage and maybe get the follow-up engage from Dan following in his wake. Looks like Dragon is now live. Rifty's top lane, he's going to have to teleport down if they want to contest this.
He's popped the teleport already. He's teleporting way away from the team fight as well, which is great. As a collie flash in there. Slice going to get the tidal wave coming across everyone. Slice very low, but manages to get away. Actually, look at the damage from Dan. He picks up a double kill. Tundra is the frozen tomb. Rifty off to the back line, but with Chriso off to the side here, it's all down to Rifty. Can he get into the fight? GeoBear gets picked off. Tundra fighting up against Rifty. This is a great fight.
Wow.
The shocking orb as well, and Rifty's going to get taken out. It's an ace for none. Slight was jumped on by the entire team. He survives, and they managed to get away with 5 kills for none.
How did that just happen? That was ridiculous. Infused looked like they were commanding this team fight, and commanding the game even, and FM pull out a team fight when they needed it the most. It's taking the advantage of the fact that Tundra is a fantastic mid-game champion. He's got so much magic resist on board as well. He doesn't even need to really worry about the armor. The ninja tabby may even be enough for the next 5 to 10 minutes of the game. So Infused have got work to do right now.
I just want to hold my hands up and say, Dan, I should never have doubted you. Picks up 2 kills in that fight because of all the damage coming out, and is able just to clean up the tidal wave as well from Billy Fufu. They all went into that choke point. He locked them out. Rifty had to go all the way around the top side of blue buff, and they managed to pick up 5 kills, get the dragon, get themselves 1,500 gold in the lead, and now they can start getting this snowball on.
Yeah, that was just unfortunately a poor fight for Infused. All round, it seemed to go wrong in every single sense. A lot of it was because a lot of effort was put on to getting Rain Slight down.
Getting on.
And unfortunately, Slight did not get taken down as easily as he would have wanted, and then unfortunately it just went badly from there.
Slightly more difficult.
Slightly more difficult than he might have thought.
Yeah, they weren't quite able to pick him up. Rifty, of course, not joining the fight until the end made it very difficult as well, because he wasn't able to get onto Slight, who flashed and arcane shifted across that wall, and if he'd been there, you have to think Infused would have had a lot better fight. He's very big at the moment, and then Rafa getting locked out immediately by FM Dan meant that he wasn't able to contribute with that Triforce, with the almost completed Infinity Edge as well. It's just very difficult for Infused to win that fight when they don't have everyone there.
They've got a lot back on the board now, FM. It's basically level pegging grounds at this point. That could have been the 3rd Dragon buff of the game for Infused if they played it right. I think they're going to turn around and step it up again. Looks like right at the Arcane coming down onto that Dragon Arrow. Wawa taking a couple of hits for the worse as GeoBear going on down.
2-1 down, but the teleport in straight away. Crystal's there as well. They need to be careful. Down into the backline. GeoBear goes out. Slight there. Assault Battery. Rifty is here now. Tundra there as well. Slight uses that. McLeod's on him. Rifty is doing a lot of work, but can he get onto Chriso as well? He's chopped up. Arcano post. Rifty will go down. The mark of the assassin's not quite enough. Rafa there. Billy Fufu as well. It's 3v2. Rafa's still on full health though, and Tundra is in the middle of it. The Acro Prism is huge. Cold and meat. Arcano post from long range, and Wawa having to run away. Song of Celerity. Can it siege you up enough? I'm not sure. Sona there is the Frostfang. Is he going to be able to get away? No. Ruthless Predator. That is very ruthless. Taking out a mute, but Tundra not able to get the Arcano post is there as well, and the Song of Celerity should get Wawa away. Tundra, what? Tundra.
He's
that was very aggressive.
Got the kill. Might not be able to escape.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Billy Fufu. Good guy, Nami. Oh, wow. Almost sacrifices himself for the kill there. But picking up Wawa is that's a statement of intent from FM eSports. They say, you can run, you can hide, but you will not escape our massive crocodile.
Wow.
Thank you. Good night.
Well, anyway, I think really, ideally, Infused need to look at picking up some very, very direly needed magic penetration. They really need to be able to deal with Tundra in the front line. They are just not positioning around him as best as they could do. And Chriso, right now on that Xerath, has 3 core items to his build and is doing a lot of damage. Rifty having a good time with it, taking out the carries like Ezreal, but unfortunately there isn't enough. Oh,
Wild Zinzao appears, Rafa, you're going to go down so quickly. Deary me. Youmu's into the Devourer. That is a destroyed Corki. He won't be competing at the Winter Olympics anymore.
I can kind of see that this build is now going to come into its own. He's 777. That is an extremely lucky number to be at, and hopefully a lucky game for FM, because if they win this, they're going to send everybody into a 3-way tie, which is probably not what Infused were hoping for, because then they have the potential to have gone on tilt from this game. It could be very difficult, and it's going to be even more difficult to deal with Tundra now, as he's got that Guardian Angel. Again, like I said, no magic penetration on the side of Infused right now. They need it desperately. They need some sort of resistance shredding anything. On Corki, the Last Whisper will be really good. He's managed to finish this Infinity Edge. That'll be a big bonus for him. But right now, it's not the armor that's the real problem. It's the magic resist.
But in the time it's taking him to finish that Infinity Edge, we see Ezreal, Slight, has picked up the finished Triforce and the finished Last Whisper. He's gone from being behind to being basically equal, even slightly ahead of that Corki at the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely had a little bit more in the tank. He's picked up a lot of items off the back of a couple of really good FM teamfights too. Infused need to look to work around and try and find that impetus and surge that they had in the early game, because they looked dominant up until that awful Dragon teamfight, and it's just not looking good right now. They definitely have lost a massive advantage, and you could say they're even quite significantly behind. They're trying to make a catch though, waiting for someone to come in and ward up this Dragon area. There is that Rift Scuttler there for FMs. They will still see people moving around. Tundra will probably
Fufu needs to be careful. Well, he's going to place a ward across the wall, almost caught him out. They have the best vision control around here at the moment, Infused do, but Tundra now got a GA. Didn't even pop the Elixir of Iron in the last fight. Of course, giving you that extra size is going to be a very mighty Crocodile if he does decide to go in, but they need to just get a little bit more vision control around here. We see the Oracle's length picked up already on FM Dan and on Billy Fufu. No Oracles yet on Infused, and I think that just shows how much FM are valuing vision control at the moment. They're
valuing actually being able to take out Rifty in teamfights as well. They have 3 ways to isolate him and find him in that Shroud of Twilight. And once you take the Shroud of Twilight away from Rifty, it's so difficult for him to get in there and do what he does best, which is attack, go invisible, and be this crazy assassin that's very hard to deal with. When you have that Oracle's Lens, he basically is highlighted for an entire team fight, and he's just like any other AP melee champion. Very easy to focus down. Hasn't got that Zhonya's either. Be very difficult for him. I think Infused will want to.
There we go. Song of Slowity. They're going to go in for it. Dan is there. They're going to go on to Chriso. Sodden Battery on him, but nice tidal wave knocking everyone back. Rifty tries to get in there. Geo there with a Frozen 2. Pops it onto Chriso. Rafa picks up Dan.
Oh, wow.
From Infused is there as well. Double kill for Tundra, though. Rifty still alive. Billy Fufu and Slight against Rafa, Rifty and Wawa. Tundra trying to get in there. Slight with the Mystic Shots doing a lot of damage, and it's a 3v3 matching up on the Rift around the Dragon area. Rifty still very, very big. They need to be careful of him. Tundra still has his GA as well. Lots of heals coming out. Look at the damage onto Wawa. Slight does not have True Shot Barrage available yet, but the more Mystic Shots he hits, the shorter the cooldown will be. Tundra trying to flank here onto Wawa. There's the heal from him. Aria Perseverance will push them back, and Rafa with the red buff will try and get them out. Slight overextend, there's the Arcane Shift away. Tundra goes in. He's going to pop his GA in just a second. Can they fight this one? Rafa is so aggressive. Here comes Rifty. He's jumping onto the backline. Tundra might go out here. He needs to try and get away across towards the top side of the map. He gets shut down, just a little bit overextended from his team, and FM lose out in that 3v3 fight, but the rest of the team is back alive. Can they delay this Dragon for long enough? Rafa picks up the ward. He picks up a Penguin as well as they try and take this Rift Scuttler away. And Slight just trying to get that for his team. We saw how aggressive Rafa went there. Tundra wasn't quite able to take him out.
A lot of stalling done by Tundra there that's allowed his team to get back and be in a position to contest with this Dragon. Unfortunately, Infused reacted to it immediately. Rifty is back up after getting a lot of sustain. Tundra is down. That's a big thing for FM right now. Without him, there is no real frontline tank. Dan is not that tanky.
There's no way they get that, even with the 2-shot barrage. third Dragon of the game for Infused. Rifty jumping onto Dan, shocking Orb, not going to connect. Christo's there. Nice tidal wave, knocking everyone back. There's the Crescent Slash, and here's the Riding the Arcane in the backline. Dan's going to go down. Tundra has come in with the teleport. Rifty's there as well. He's being spotted out by that pink ward, though, and he gets stunned up by Tundra. Ruthless Predator. Mystic shot across the wall, and Slight helps pick up the kill. The Frozen Tomb on Christo in the middle.
Oh my word, the crescendo
as well. The Monstrous Bomb, but look at how slow everyone is. Slight to the side, they're going to go in. Tundra does go down as the Dan, but the shocking orb on Wawa, and Rapper's so low, and Wawa's going to go down, and FM win the fight. They lose the Dragon, they win the fight, and FM eSports ace Infused.
Yeah, that was just crazy. Wawa, and a brilliant crescendo off the back of it right there, but unfortunately overcommitted. No one was dealing with Slight, and we're going to see the replay right here. Immediately you see Rifty doing a lot of damage to Tundra. He goes into the front line, tries to get onto Rifty. That's really key, as now Tundra is not in the way of the rest of them, but this amazing Frost Tomb into crescendo is fantastic, and GeoBear, had they been a little bit more healthy and tried to deal with Slight on the back line, it would have maybe been a fight that Infused cleaned up on, but the Dragon and a 3 for 5, I believe. Yep. Not too bad. I think Infused will definitely take the Dragon over that.
Yeah, they definitely will, especially since it's the third Dragon of the game. They've been working on rotations thus far. They'll have even more rotations now with that 5% movement speed buff. Only 5 kills in it, only 5,000 gold in it, only 0 towers in it as well, 3-3 at the moment. It is such a close game here between Infused and FM, and of course, it's the group deciding game. If Infused take the win, they will take first place with a 3-0 record, only matched by Choke Gaming in Group B. And if they lose out, it's a 2-1 tie for everyone at the top of that group.
The longer this goes, the better you give it over to Infused, just because of how far Renekton will fall off.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can make more picks with GeoBear and Dan, and a lot of a late game can be decided by these picks onto singular champions. However, the way that FM Dan is scaling right now, and the fact that they've got a Xerath and a almost full build blue Ezreal.
Yeah. You wonder if it does go to Infused.
You wonder if it does go to Infused into the late game, just because of the way that Dan's built too. He's got so many stacks on that Devourer. With the Yamumu's Ghost Blade, he's actually a real threat at this point in time. It's not just that kind of jungler that you can like to ignore. He's really quite a big threat. They're looking to make another pick. This is how Infused play generally when they're behind. They try to make these individual picks in very big choke point areas, i.e. around that Dragon area, around the Baron Fight River area.
Yeah, they are. Just had a bit of information come through to us, guys. If FM win this, the next game will be Infused versus YouWhatMate. Now, of course, we saw that played earlier. YouWhatMate didn't win it out. It was Infused taking the win. They went 2-0 in the group. They need to be careful now because Rifty's up to the top side. But if that is the next game, the tidal wave comes in. Rafa actually Valkyrie's away. He's going to get right at the Arcane Dawn, though. Lots of damage coming onto Dan as well. The teleport in by Rifty. They need to be careful. FM are split all 9 ways to Sunday at the moment. Tundra pops the Dominus in case Dan decides to go in. They do need to be very careful because they're going into a crescendo here. Wawa around the corner. Tundra going in. He's quite low already, taking down quite a bit of damage. Dan goes in. The crescendo only on him. Wawa's the target. Rifty's their next target. Slight picks up Wawa. Rifty goes in as well. He gets taken out. It's a double kill. And here comes the rest of FM eSports. They've got a triple kill for Slight. He's going to go on to Rapper. Can he make the quadra? Can he make the penta? He can make the quadra. Rapper's going to try and get away. Come on. Give us our first penta of the group stages of the League 4 Nations. He won't. He'll just back away. But what a great fight there for FM eSports.
Yeah, FM again. We're going to see this right here. Tundra has popped the Dominus. They needed to wait, but look at the flash engage from Dan. He goes immediately onto Wawa. That means the crescendo was not used effectively, and Tundra is still in Dominus. FM Dan comes straight from the back line and takes out the key targets, and unfortunately, Infused were just so split in that team fight that no one has the ability to get the damage down that they needed. And GeoBear, I feel like he's seriously lacking right now. He's definitely having a poor time on this Lissandra. Just not doing what we're used to seeing him do, because he's just getting focused so hard. And the difference between the way you see Tundra play Lissandra and the way you see GeoBear play Lissandra, Tundra goes in, uses the ultimate on himself to get the AoE damage down, and then uses Zhonya's athlete to make sure he's surviving for a longer period of time. I've never seen GeoBear use the ultimate on himself. Almost always uses it to isolate a member of the FM lineup, which just doesn't seem...
When there's a Mikhail's, it makes it almost impossible to do.
Doesn't seem like it's working out particularly well.
And the problem I find there for Infused, as FM choked into that point, I was like, FM have done this badly. They're going into a crescendo, they're going into the Frozen Tomb, they're going into the AoE comp, which is where Infused have done so well. But because FM Dan jumped on Wawa crescendoed him away, only picked up Dan, and it meant that Tundra could get into the back line. It meant that you could get Slight bouncing around, jumping around with that blue Ezreal, with the cooldown reduction. He was able to get all over that fight. We saw him pick up the quadra kill, and now FM eSports, you have to think that they can start to snowball this away. 32 kills to 24, it's so close.
If you're not managing to take down Slight, you're going to really struggle in these team fights. But then FM Dan is also a very big threat, and you can't even discount Chriso. There are just so many high damage threats. And people underestimate Tundra, how much damage he will do when he's sat in Dominus. That is quite a significant portion of damage that you've actually got to be worried about. And before they even think about doing the team fights, they've got to try and get this Banshee's Veil off Slight. Because otherwise, if Rifty tries to commit, he's just going to be met with a big shield stopping the majority of his damage.
And they do have a lot of ways to get that Banshee's Veil off. They've got Ice Shard, they've got missiles, they've got Rifty can chuck out and mark the assassin as well. But Slight's doing a great job of sidestepping most of them. At the moment, it is for FM. It's if you don't take out Slight, we're going to win the fight, because they're just getting so much damage.
It's just that. There's more to the FM comp right now than just Slight, but Slight is, I agree, the majority of the damage. But like you said, if you don't take out Slight, you've lost. But even if you do take out Slight, you definitely haven't won.
Because if Chriso's positioned well out to the back line of the fight, then he's doing a huge amount of damage. Tundra's in there, has his GA back available now. And look at this. Infused can't even fight over this dragon. Second dragon of the game going across towards FM. There's still a dragon down, but Infused actually trying to fight on the rebound. Wawa's going to be the target here for Tundra. Dan goes on to Chriso in the back line. But look at that. Wawa gets destroyed. Slight Rifty jumped on top of him. Geobear very low. Chriso actually survives, and he manages to get out to the back line. Rapid goes round onto him. Rifty goes down as well. Tundra still on full HP. The Aquavism comes in. Dan tries to flash across the wall. Rapid's only picked up one, and they're going to keep chasing onto this. Dan is there trying to get onto Tundra, but Tundra is a man mounting. Rapid Valkyries away. Aquavism not going to connect, but Dan from the side will be chasing him down as quickly as possible. Rapid tries to go back in onto it. Cannot do the damage. It's an ace for one for FM eSports.
Yeah, FM, they can even go for the Baron right now. They've got plenty of time, and it's not looking great for Infused. So much mountains to climb at this point, and really the MVP for me right now has been Tundra on that Renekton. He has played one of these champions that we haven't seen for a while. He's gone for that full tank, and it's the fact that no one can deal with him, that he's sat on the front line just being this absolute monster that can just lock down your carries with the stun, and you've got to deal with him at this point because he's got the Dominus on, and he provides a real distraction to the mainstay of your team fight. That really there's nothing else that Infused can do that but try and deal with him. But then you've got that GA, he will come back to life, and while you're trying to deal with this really tanky Crocodile, you've got Rain Slight in the background on Ezreal, you've got Dan on a high Devourer stack with Xin Zhao, and Chriso, who's practically almost been silent this entire game, but slowly been working his way to a massive set of items that we see on him right now.
Yeah, we've got the Void stuff, got the Zhonyas, the Rabadons, the Athenes as well. After not having the better times early game, he has been dominant. And look at the damage from Arcano Pulse as well. Why did Arcane pop just to see what he can do? He's going to try and get onto Geobear. Geobear very quick and will just dodge out. Actually chucks out the last one as well, but Wawa was a target there as well. We've seen lots of Zealous targeting down Sonas if they can.
Yes, Wawa unfortunately has been a high priority target for FM right now. I feel like Infused had this game, it was just that singular dragon fight they seem to really struggle with, and then FM have just classed onto that, and you're seeing a completely different FM that we saw play up against you what, mate?
Yeah, they went into a choke point and they just got strangled out. Like Tundra was there at the front line, they had the tidal wave coming in from Billy Fufu as well. Great fighting here from FM eSports, and they show why they are the masters of the late game. They keep doing these great little fights at the end, and then they keep putting pressure onto the enemy team. They've got bound up minions now. They're going to push to the inner tower.
Yeah,
Dan jumps in onto Wawa, constant crescendo again, and here's the tidal wave coming in. Dan goes quite low, but 50 in the middle of it. Wawa actually gets taken out by Billy Fufu. There's the Zhonya, take him to the Frozen Tomb as well. Rizzo in the back line. Slight takes out 50 though, and that is so big because Dan, Infused Dan, is in the middle of it, or he gets taken out. Rapper, the last man left standing. I've said that so many times in the last couple of minutes. Slight, Chriso, and Tundra still left alive. And if you can't take out the AP or the AD carry, you have to be thinking that you're in quite a bad position.
It's probably the game.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely going to take the inhibitor.
You're going to see this. Dan goes for the engage. That's really key because Wawa immediately has to burn the crescendo again. They're going for Wawa every time, forcing him to use the crescendo unfavorably. And Rifty just isn't having an impact now that they've got those sweepers. He's getting taken down immediately, and Slight on the back line is so good at keeping safe. And here we are.
FM going for game. Rafa goes in, but he gets destroyed. Tundra tanky for days. FM eSports will take the win versus Team Infused. And we are in to tiebreakers. Can you believe it, Ixandro?
Well,
can you believe it?
Infused will be really unhappy with that because they had the chance to qualify top seed, but now they have the potential to get knocked out. You what mate will be sitting there and thinking, wow, we have another chance. We have another chance to get through here. And we're just waiting to get the details about whether we will be streaming these today. I believe if we do go on to stream the games, we will be doing Infused versus You What Mate next. I'm not sure on all the details whether head-to-heads count in the tiebreaker, but essentially we have 3 teams sitting at 2 and 1 right now. Infused, they won against Cambridge and You What Mate and lost to FM. Obviously, as you just saw, FM won against Cambridge and Infused, but lost to You What Mate, and You What Mate lost to Infused, but beat Cambridge and FM. So essentially, head-to-heads almost certainly can't work because all of them have a head-to-head over each other. So you have to play another 3 games, I believe.
Yeah. We have to play all 3 of them. They each have to match up against each other. We're going to see Infused versus You What Mate, which was one of the earlier games that we saw today. They'll face up against each other again in the next game. Now Infused, coming off a loss, have to feel a little bit demoralized, and they did beat You What Mate relatively convincingly early on with a very good mid-game strategy. Do you think they can bring that out again when You What Mate have come from the ashes, come from 0-1 down to be 2-1?
I don't know. The way You What Mate were playing in the games that they won were just... It was just fantastic. Yeah. It really was. They played so well, and they must still be thinking, we have a chance, boys.